So how do we beat the ACT math section? Unfortunately, there's not a lot of tips and tricks I can give you to improve your score quickly by tricking out the system or anything like that. Either you know the math or you don't. There are a few things we can do to help us improve our score though. First, we have to realize that we only have 60 minutes to answer those 60 questions. That's not a lot of time, so you don't want to waste that time if you know you're not going to get the question right. For example, if you know the answer or you know how to do the problem, then go ahead and do it and move on. If you don't know how to do it, then you can skip it and come back to it later if you have extra time. Those are the easy situations. The hard part is the middle ground. Let's say you think you know how you can do the problem. Well, you don't want to spend too much time trying to figure it out. So it can be really dangerous. Just be sure to not to spend too much time on any one problem trying to figure it out. The next thing is to really just use general test taking strategies. One of the more applicable things we can do is eliminate impossible answers. Let's take a look at an example. This question reads that one leg of a right triangle is 4 meters long and the other leg is 8 meters long. The hypotenuse of the triangle is how many meters long? It's a pretty simple problem, especially if you've just recently gone over Pythagorean's theorem. However, you can't always remember everything, so let's say we don't know exactly what Pythagorean's theorem was or remember how to use it. We can still find and narrow down our answers for this problem. First of all, we're told that the one leg is 8 and the other leg is 4. If we look at our first answer choice, it's 12. That's 8 plus 4. That means they took the leg that's 4 and added it to the leg that was 8, and now you've got a line that is 12. That's not a triangle. In fact, it's the max hypotenuse that you could possibly have for any triangle with one leg 4 and one leg 8. It would have to be 12 to connect the ends of those lines. So we can pretty much eliminate 12. But if we look at G and H, they're bigger than 12, 16 and 20. That's not possible either, right? 16 would be way too long of a hypotenuse. We wouldn't even be able to connect all three of those lines. Same thing with 40. So now we've taken our answer choices and narrowed them down from 5 to just 2. You've got a 50-50 shot, even if you remember nothing about Pythagorean's theorem. The next way that we can help ourselves out is find ways to make your calculator do the hard work for you. This is especially useful on problems involving linear or quadratic equations or statistics. Let's take a look at another example. In this example here, we're given a table and asked to basically find the linear format or the linear formula of that table. Now I'm going to be using my TI-83 Plus, but it's basically an older version of the TI-84. It's laid out the same. So we could read all this text, but we don't really need to. We can see how the problem's set up. We're associating D and T using a linear equation given to us in those answer choices. So what we can do if we know how to use our calculator is plug these answer choices in formula form into our calculator and then have the calculator generate a table for us of the values. So the first thing we're going to do here is go ahead and enter in all these formulas, A, B, C, D, and E. And notice that it's separating it into different Y's. So we got Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, and Y5 that correspond to those letters. Once I've got them entered in, I can go over here to a table tab that will show me these formulas, but for each X value, say from 0 to 5, like is in our example. Now it'll actually show you more if you want it to. For instance, you can scroll up here, you can see -1. If you were to keep going, you would see a whole lot of negative numbers, a whole lot of positive numbers. But here we're concerned with 0 to 5. So we're going to check the Y values for A now. A starts with 0 and 10. That's pretty good. But we see that 1 is 11, and on the table it's 18. So the answer is not A. If we go to B, it starts with 2. It's supposed to be 10, so we know that's not right. C, we start out with 10. That's good. So at x equals 0, we've got y equals 10. X equals 1, we've got y equals 18. Then for 2, y equals 26. Then 34. Then 42. Then 50. So the formula that we entered in to y3, which is answer C, should be the correct answer. So we can mark this as our correct answer and move on without having to figure out the y-intercept or the slope. potentially make some errors in there, right? And also you can notice that you could have put in only A and C if you knew anything about the y-intercept, because we were given the y-intercept where x is equal to 0, y was equal to 10. So we could eliminate all the choices there, like we did in the previous problem. But even if we don't, we see we still made it through. The last thing I can tell you to do is attempt all the questions. Now, we know that the math test gets harder as it goes on. That means that the last 10 to 15 questions will be the most difficult. Sometimes, however, they sneak an easy one in there, or maybe they disguise it even as a hard question. Let's take a look at this pretty simple example. This is the last question on the test. It's talking about a right circular cone intersected by a plane. And it's asking us to basically determine what would the shape of that intersection look like. But they gave us a figure. And you can see in the figure that one of those shapes matches one of the answer choices. So you circle it and then you're done. That's a free correct answer. So we don't want to use up all of our time on those first 50 questions and not even get to attempt the last 10 because they might sneak an easy one in there. Now this can look different for different students. You basically need to come up with which way it works best for you. I would suggest doing something like budgeting 45 minutes to do the first, let's say, 40 questions. It gives you a little bit of extra time to really focus in on those questions that are in that middle ground. Do I know it? Can I figure it out? Then you leave the last 15 minutes to just quickly skim the last 20 questions or so and see if any of them are easy, right? This gives you that opportunity to, one, go ahead and fill in a bubble and take a guess on the ones you don't know, and two, potentially find some easy answers. And those are the best ways I can tell you to improve your math score quickly. Hi, I'm Troy, and if you liked this video, then you'll love the ACT course I've helped author with Achievable. Achievable has everything that you need to get a top score. We have a comprehensive online textbook, more videos just like these on dozens of key topics, a built-in study planner to help keep you on track, hundreds of chapter review questions, and plenty of full-length practice exams. Our course is competitively priced, and you can try it out first for free to see if our style is the right fit for you. Follow the link in the description below to get started.